The Nag Hammadi Library. This is a collection of early Christian and Gnostic texts discovered near the town of Nag Hammadi in Upper Egypt in 1945. These texts, written in Coptic, were found in a sealed jar buried in the sands, where they had been hidden for over 1,000 years. The discovery was a significant moment for scholars of early Christianity and Gnosticism, as it shed light on a range of beliefs and practices that were largely suppressed by Orthodox Christianity. The library consists of 13 leather-bound papyrus codices containing 52 treatises, including the famous Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Philip, and Apocryphon of John. These texts represent a wide variety of theological perspectives, many of which differ sharply from the Orthodox teachings that became the foundation of mainstream Christianity. The Gospel of Thomas, for instance, is a collection of 114 sayings attributed to Jesus. Unlike the canonical Gospels, it does not include a narrative of Jesus' life and death, but instead presents his teachings in a manner that emphasizes personal spiritual knowledge, a key theme in Gnostic thought. The Gnostics believed that salvation came through gnosis, or secret knowledge, rather than through faith in the resurrection of Jesus, as taught by Orthodox Christianity. Another notable text is the Gospel of Philip, which offers a unique interpretation of Christian sacraments and the relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. It suggests a more mystical approach to Christianity, emphasizing spiritual union and the idea of divine marriage. The Apocryphon of John provides a Gnostic creation myth, describing a complex cosmology in which the material world is created by a lesser divine being, often referred to as the demiurge. This contrasts sharply with the Orthodox Christian view of a benevolent creator God and reflects the Gnostic belief in the inherent corruption of the material world. The discovery of the Nag Hammadi Library has been compared to the Dead Sea Scrolls in terms of its importance for understanding early Christianity. Before this discovery, much of what was known about Gnosticism came from the writings of early church fathers who opposed it. The Nag Hammadi texts, however, allowed scholars to study Gnostic beliefs firsthand, offering a more nuanced view of the diversity within early Christianity. These texts reveal a vibrant and diverse Christian community in the early centuries after Christ, where various interpretations of Jesus' teachings were debated and explored. They also highlight the eventual suppression of Gnostic beliefs as orthodoxy took hold and defined the boundaries of acceptable Christian doctrine. The Emerald Tablets. This is also known as the Emerald Tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, are a cornerstone of Western esotericism and alchemical tradition. These ancient texts are attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a mythical figure who is often depicted as a fusion of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Hermes Trismegistus is considered the father of alchemy, and the Emerald Tablets are said to contain profound secrets about the nature of reality, the cosmos, and the path to spiritual enlightenment. The most famous of these texts is the Tabula Smaragdina, a cryptic document written in just a few brief sentences. Despite its brevity, it has been interpreted and reinterpreted for centuries by alchemists, mystics, and philosophers who believe it encodes the secret of the Philosopher's Stone, a legendary substance capable of turning base metals into gold and granting immortality. The origins of the Emerald Tablets are steeped in legend. According to one tradition, the text was discovered by Alexander the Great in the tomb of Hermes Trismegistus, buried deep within the earth. Another version claims that the tablet was found in a hidden chamber beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. Whether these stories hold any historical truth is unclear, but they add to the mystique surrounding the text. The most famous passage from the Emerald Tablet is often translated as, "That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to accomplish the miracle of the one thing." This phrase encapsulates the principle of correspondence, one of the fundamental concepts in Hermeticism, which suggests that the microcosm, the individual, reflects the macrocosm, the universe, and vice versa. This idea has deeply influenced not only alchemy but also astrology, magic, and various mystical traditions. Throughout history, the Emerald Tablets have been translated and commented upon by numerous scholars, including famous figures like Roger Bacon, Isaac Newton, and Carl Jung. Newton, in particular, was fascinated by the text and made his own translation, believing it held the key to understanding the natural world and the divine. The Book of Enoch, also known as 1 Enoch, is an ancient Jewish text that holds a unique place in the history of religious literature. Traditionally attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, this book is considered apocryphal by most mainstream Christian denominations, but is revered as canonical by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and the Eritrean Orthodox Church. Its content, rich with visions, angelic beings, and cosmic secrets, offers a fascinating glimpse into the religious imagination of the Second Temple period. The Book of Enoch is not a single cohesive work, but a collection of 5 distinct sections, each with its own focus and themes. These sections are the Book of the Watchers. This is perhaps the most famous part of the Book of Enoch, detailing the story of the Watchers, angels who descended from heaven to take human wives. Their offspring, known as the Nephilim, were giants who wreaked havoc on the earth. The Watchers also taught humanity forbidden knowledge, including the arts of metalworking, cosmetics, and magic, providing a more detailed explanation for the flood that would later come to cleanse the earth. The Book of Parables. This section contains apocalyptic visions and prophecies. It introduces the figure of the Son of Man, a messianic figure who will bring judgment upon the wicked and establish a kingdom of righteousness. This concept of the Son of Man would later influence early Christian thought, particularly in the New Testament. The Astronomical Book. This part offers a detailed account of the movements of the heavenly bodies, explaining the natural world in terms of a divinely ordered cosmos. It includes descriptions of the solar and lunar cycles, the stars and the seasons, often with a mystical or symbolic interpretation. This section reflects the deep interest in cosmology and the workings of the universe that was prevalent among Jewish scholars of the time. The Book of Dream Visions. Here, Enoch recounts a series of symbolic dreams that represent the history of the world from the creation to the final judgment. These visions often use allegorical imagery, such as animals representing different nations and peoples. The Epistle of Enoch. This final section is a letter attributed to Enoch, containing admonitions, blessings, and a recounting of Enoch's journeys to the heavens. It emphasizes the importance of righteousness and the coming judgment, reinforcing the themes of divine justice and the fate of the wicked. The Book of Enoch is notable for its depiction of the angelic realm and its influence on later Jewish and Christian thought. The idea of fallen angels, the concept of a final judgment, and the detailed descriptions of the afterlife all found their way into various religious traditions, shaping beliefs about the spiritual world and the destiny of humanity. The Upanishads. These are ancient Indian texts that form the philosophical core of Hinduism, offering profound insights into the nature of reality, the self, and the ultimate truth. These texts, composed between 800 BCE and 500 BCE, are considered the culmination of the Vedic tradition, moving beyond ritualistic practices to explore deep spiritual concepts. The word Upanishad means sitting down near, referring to the intimate setting in which these teachings were traditionally imparted, with students gathering closely around a teacher to learn about the mysteries of existence. Unlike the earlier Vedas, which focused on rituals and hymns to the gods, the Upanishads delve into metaphysical questions, seeking to understand the underlying principles of the universe. At the heart of the Upanishads is the concept of Brahman, the ultimate, unchanging reality that pervades everything. Brahman is beyond description, beyond form, and is the source of all that exists. The Upanishads also introduce the idea of Atman, the inner self or soul, which is ultimately identical to Brahman. This realization that Atman and Brahman are one is the essence of enlightenment and liberation moksha, freeing the individual from the cycle of birth and rebirth. The teachings of the Upanishads are presented in the form of dialogues, stories, and parables, often between a teacher and a student. These discussions cover a wide range of topics, from the nature of consciousness and the process of meditation to the ethics of living a virtuous life. One of the most famous teachings is the Mahavakya, or Great Saying, which says, Tavam Atsi, meaning, you are that, encapsulating the idea that the self is not separate from the ultimate reality. The Upanishads laid the foundation for later Hindu philosophies, including Vedanta, which elaborated on the ideas of non-duality Advaita, and have influenced a wide range of spiritual traditions around the world. The Tao Te Ching. This is the foundational text of Taoism, attributed to the ancient Chinese sage Laozi, written around the 6th century BCE. This brief but profound book has had a lasting influence on Chinese philosophy, religion, and culture, as well as on spiritual traditions worldwide. The title Tao Te Ching can be translated as the classic of the way, and its virtue, the text, consists of 81 short chapters, each offering reflections on the nature of the Tao, which is often translated as the way. The Tao is the fundamental principle underlying the universe, described as the source of all existence, yet it is beyond definition or comprehension. It is both the origin of everything and the guiding force that flows through all life. The Tao Te Ching emphasizes living in harmony with the Tao, advocating for simplicity, humility, and non-action, which is not inaction, but rather an effortless alignment with the natural flow of life. Laozi teaches that by embracing the Tao, one can find balance and peace, avoiding the struggles that come from forcing one's will upon the world. The text is filled with paradoxes and poetic language, inviting readers to contemplate its meaning deeply. For instance, it suggests that strength lies in flexibility, that the soft can overcome the hard, and that the wise person knows when to let go rather than control. These teachings challenge conventional thinking, encouraging a deeper understanding of the natural order and one's place within it. The Zohar, often referred to as the Book of Splendor, is the foundational text of Kabbalah, the mystical and esoteric tradition within Judaism. It is a complex and richly symbolic work, composed of mystical commentary on the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. The Zohar is attributed to the 2nd century Jewish sage Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, but it was compiled and published much later, in the late 13th century, by the Spanish Jewish mystic Moses de Leon. The Zohar is written in Aramaic, the language spoken in the time of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, though its style and content suggest that it was a product of medieval Spain rather than the ancient Middle East. The Zohar consists of a series of mystical discourses and dialogues. These are presented as teachings of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his disciples, who wander through the Galilean countryside, engaging in deep spiritual discussions about the nature of God, the cosmos, and the soul. The text is interwoven with biblical commentary, mystical interpretations, and allegorical stories, all aimed at revealing the hidden divine truths encoded in the Torah. At the heart of the Zohar is the concept of the Sephirot, 10 emanations or attributes through which God interacts with the world. These Sephirot represent different aspects of the divine, such as wisdom, understanding, mercy, and justice, and are depicted as a dynamic and interconnected system. The Zohar emphasizes that the Torah is not just a legal or historical document, but a living, breathing text filled with layers of hidden meaning that can only be unlocked through Kabbalistic study. The Zohar also delves into the nature of the soul and its journey. It describes the soul's origins in the divine realm, its descent into the material world, and its ultimate goal of returning to its source. The text speaks of reincarnation, the purification of the soul through multiple lifetimes, and the role of human actions in influencing the cosmic balance. The Bhagavad Gita, often referred to simply as the Gita, is a 700-verse Hindu scripture that is part of the Indian epic, the Mahabharata. Composed around the 2nd century BCE, it is one of the most important spiritual and philosophical texts in Hinduism and has had a profound influence on spiritual thought worldwide. The Bhagavad Gita is set on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where 2 families, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, are poised to engage in a great war. The central narrative unfolds as Arjuna, the noble warrior prince of the Pandavas, is overcome with doubt and moral confusion about fighting in the battle. He is paralyzed by the fear of killing his own relatives, teachers, and friends who stand on the opposing side. In this moment of crisis, Arjuna turns to his charioteer, who is revealed to be Lord Krishna, the incarnation of the Supreme God, for guidance. What follows is a profound dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna, in which Krishna imparts spiritual wisdom and guidance. The Gita covers a wide range of topics, including duty, dharma, righteousness, the nature of the self, Atman, the universe, and the ultimate reality, Brahman. Krishna teaches Arjuna about the importance of doing one's duty without attachment to the results, emphasizing the concept of selfless action, karma yoga. He also explains different paths to spiritual liberation, including the paths of devotion, bhakti yoga, knowledge, jnana yoga, and disciplined action. One of the key teachings of the Bhagavad Gita is the idea that the soul is eternal and beyond physical death. Krishna assures Arjuna that those who die in battle, if they have lived righteously, will achieve liberation or a higher state of existence. He also reveals his universal form, demonstrating his divine nature and the ultimate reality that encompasses all creation. The Bhagavad Gita presents a vision of a universe governed by moral laws, where individuals must navigate the complexities of life with wisdom, integrity, and devotion to the divine. The Book of Creation, or Sefer Yetzirah, is one of the earliest and most mysterious texts in Jewish mysticism. Believed to have been composed between the 2nd and 6th centuries EE, it offers a mystical explanation of the creation of the universe, blending divine language with numerology. In the Sefer Yetzirah, creation is described as being shaped by the Hebrew alphabet and the numbers that underpin reality. The text introduces the concept of the Sephirot, 10 fundamental forces or dimensions through which the divine manifests. Alongside these, the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet are portrayed as the building blocks of the universe, with each letter possessing unique creative power. The book explores how these letters and numbers were combined by God to form the cosmos, including the elements, celestial bodies, and human beings.